Alright, so I'm going to show you how to create the Battleship boards here for playing Battleship with a partner. This will be for those of you that are done with all 3 Excel spreadsheets, either because you finished ahead of time or on time, really. So it says open Microsoft Excel, which I've done. Change your page orientation to landscape. So you're going to go page layout, orientation, landscape. Alright, you're not going to really see it do anything, but right now it's longer left to right than it is up and down. That would be called portrait. So you want to make sure it's landscape. So right here is actually the edge of the page, the dotted line. Change your margins to 0.25. So I'm going to go to margins and go to custom. You'll notice that there aren't any here 0.25, so I'm going to change them. So I'm just going to type in for each of these 0.25. 25, 25, and 25. Don't worry about the footer and the header. Press OK. So step 4, make sure your page fits 1 page wide by 1 page long. You don't really have to do that. Okay. You'll see in a second. It'll actually do it by itself. So 5, select columns A to Y. So I'm going to click up here in the gray area and I'm just going to drag all the way over to Y. Alright, so right there. And then it says change column width to 3. So I'm going to right click, column width, change it to 3, press OK. So you'll notice now they get skinnier. Highlight cells A1 to Y23. So I'm going to click in A1, left mouse button click, and I'm going to drag over to Y and down to 23. So this whole thing is gray except for the first box that I selected. It is selected though. Change the color to a shade of blue for the ocean. So I'm going to go back to my home tab and I'm going to use the paint can and I'm going to find a blue. If you don't like that, you can go to more colors. You can find one of these blues. I'll just use this one. Say OK. Now notice that there's no grid lines. Alright, and you need the grid lines on here. So up underneath cell styles, I want you to choose output. Alright, so look, now when I choose output, my color's gone. But now my color is already up here in my paint bucket, so I can just click on that. So there's my first board. It wants me to do the same exact thing for A1 to Y23. Or for the next column. So I'm going to actually go to AA to AY. So I'm going to highlight AA. Go back all the way over to AY, right click, column width, and it's 3. And then I'm going to do the same thing. I want to select AA to AY, go all the way down to row 23. I want to do paint bucket, cell styles, output, paint bucket again. Alright. Now, if it doesn't fit on here, just minimize, just zoom out a little bit. Alright, so right there. So I'm zoomed out. And now all it wants you really to do before we put the battleships in is put some word art in here. So we're going to go to Insert. And word art is very tiny A over here. Just click on any of them. I'll just choose this one. And I'm just going to put it's really going to be your name. So I guess I'll put your name. Okay. And you can drag these in and out if you want to make them a little bit smaller. So I'm going to put this one down here. And I'm going to do another word art. Insert. And we'll just put partner. Alright, you put your partner's name, it really doesn't matter. We'll put partner right there. So I may have to zoom out a tiny bit more. Alright, there we go. Alright. Okay. So the next step, it wants you to place your ships on your grid. So this is your grid. So you need 1 carrier, 5 cells. So you just pick any 5 cells. It doesn't matter. Now, they can't go at a diagonal, so they have to go vertical or horizontal. So you'll just pick 5 cells. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then just change it to a color that's can't be blue, can't be red, can't be white. All right, so I'm gonna do yellow. It stands out. 1 battleship of 4. All right, yellow. 2 nuclear submarines of 3 cells. So I'll do 1. I'll do 2. 1 submarine of 3 cells. So you got another 3. So you end up having 3 that are 3. And 2 destroyers that are 2 cells. So 2 little ones. Alright, so when you get done, you should have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 battleships on your board. And again, I would not put them right where I put them. I'm just showing you as an example. You can put these anywhere on the blue. And then your partner would have theirs on their board. So you would just start out and you would say, okay, you could just say E4. So then E4, if your partner has a battleship there, they'll say hit. And then you go up here and you would change it to red. And if it's a miss, they'll tell you miss, and you put white there. Alright, and if your partner guesses yours, you'd have to do the same thing. You'd have to say hit, and then you would put a red paint in that cell that they hit. If it was a miss, let's say they called K10, you say miss. Well, you can go here, change it to white. Alright, so you should have red and white on your board for hits and misses, and you should have red and white on your opponent or your partner's board for hits and misses. Make sure you're keeping track of both your own board and your partner. Alright, so when they call something, it should go on your board. If you call cells for their board, it should go over here. That's pretty much it. You play until you sink one.